Hi everyone, welcome back. It's good to be with you again. Didn't do anything over the weekend because the weather was so nice. I've been out in the garden and stuff, but I hope you all had a good time. And today, I want to try and get on with Esdras so I can get on with the apocalypses and finish all them scriptures and hopefully get on to other subjects again like I did before. So yeah, cracking on with chapter 11 here today. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew the other contrary feathers, and they become little feathers and small. But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested with the residue. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her, no, not one creature upon earth. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep every one in his own place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went out not of her heads, but from the midst of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up, and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over earth so long, this I say to thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more. There shall none after thee attain unto thy name, unto thy time, neither unto half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So went it with all the residue, one after the other, as that every one reigned, and then sorry. So it went with the residue, one after the other, as that every one reigned, and then appeared no more. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within while they appeared no more. Some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, 6 little wings. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side. The 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing that thought to set up themselves and to have rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, that 2 that remained thought that also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that was at rest, namely that it was in the midst, for it was greater than the 2 other heads. Then I saw that the 2 other heads were joined with it, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned. Excuse me. Sorry. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world, more than all the wings that had been. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the 2 heads which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured the one on the left side. Then I heard a voice which said to me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and I shall say unto thee, Art not thou the remainest of the four beasts, whom I made reign in my world, that their end of times might come through them? And the fourth came, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up to the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and these abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor thy vain body. That all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And it came to pass, while the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remained and the four wings appeared no more. And the two went unto it, and set themselves up to reign. Their kingdom was small, and full of uproar. And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more. And the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awakened one out of the trouble and trance. Then awakened I out of the trouble and trance of my mind, and from great fear, said unto my spirit, Lo, this is done. Lo, this hast thou done unto me, in that thou searchest out the ways of the highest. Lo, yet I am weary in my mind, and very weak in my spirit. Little strength is there in me, for the great fear wherewith I was afflicted this night. Therefore I will now beseech the highest, that he will comfort me to the end. And I said, Lord, bearest rule, if I have found grace before thy sight, if I am justified with thee before many others, and if my prayer indeed come up before thee, thy face. Comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision, that thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul. For thou hast judged me worthy to show me these last times. And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest came up from the sea, is the kingdom which thou hast seen in a vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him, therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come, that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after the other, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. And this do the 12 wings signify, which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, that thou sawest not go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of failing. Nevertheless it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to its beginning. Whereas thou sawest the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation. That in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose time shall be but small, their years swift, and 2 of them shall perish. In the middle time approaching, 4 shall be kept until the end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept until the end. Whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have dominion of the earth. And of those that dwell therein with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore they are called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and shall finish his last end. Whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of one shall devour the other, but the last shall fall through the sword himself. Whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings, passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifieth that these are they whom the highest have kept until the end. This is a small kingdom, and full of trouble, as thou sawest. And the lion whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood and roaring, and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for our unrighteousness, with all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed, which the highest have kept for them, and for the wickedness, unto the end. He shall reprove them, and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them, and correct them. For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been pressed upon my borders. He shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment. Wherefore I have spoken unto thee from the beginning. This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations. Thou only hast been meet to know this secret of the highest. Therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book, and hide them. Teach them to the wise people, whose hearts thou knowest may be comprehend and keep these secrets. But wait thou here thyself, yet 7 days more, that it may be showed thee, whatsoever it pleaseth the highest to declare unto thee. And with that he went his way. And it came to pass, when all the people saw that the 7 days were past, and I not come again into the city, they gathered them all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came to me, and said, What have we offended thee? And what evil have we done against thee, that thou forsake us, and sittest here in this place? For all the prophets thou art only left us, as a clustering of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evils which are come to us sufficient? If thou forsake us, how much better had it been for us, if we also had been burned in the midst of Zion? For we are not better than any that died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I and said them, Be of good comfort, O Israel, be not weary, thou house of Jacob, for the highest of you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but come to this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man. After these days I will come to you. So the people went their way to the city, like as I commanded them. But I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers in the field, and had my meat of the herbs. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things that trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, out of number, from the four winds of heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereat he was graven, but I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and a smell of smoke. When I saw this I was afraid. Afterwards saw I the man came out down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, some were brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldst receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen to them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as the dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come unto these things, than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things yet that happen in the last days. He answered and said to me, The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time have kept himself. They that have fallen in danger are such have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that are dead. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. Same is he whom God the highest have kept a great season, by which his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of the mouth there came a blast of wind, and fire, and storm, that he held neither sword, nor any instrument of war, but that a rushing of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come unto the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. One shall undertake a fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall appear, which I showed thee before. Then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. When all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle that they once against another. They have against another, And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come, to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Sion, and Sion shall come, and he shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest a hill graven without hands. And this is my son, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for the wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay them before their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labour, by the law, which is like unto me. Whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their land in the time of Osed the king, who Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took his counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. They entered into the Euphrates, by the narrow places of the river, and for the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, that they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. The same region is called Azareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, and they that go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that have been left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain, and then shall he show them great wonders. Then I said, O Lord that bearest rule, show me this, wherefore have I seen the band coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said to me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here enlightened. For thou hast forsaken thine own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. Therefore have I showed these treasures of the highest. After the 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders which he did in time, and because he governeth the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, that I sat under the oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here I am, Lord. And I stood upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifest myself unto Moses, and talked with him, when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him, and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount, of where I held him by me a long season. And I told him many wondrous things, and I showed him the secrets of the times, and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou hast been taken away from all, and from henceforth shalt thou remain with my son, and with such be as like thee, until the times be ended. For the world has lost his youth. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part. And there remaineth which that Sorry, I've got to come back to this at another point. This is to do with times, which I'm looking at. Right, chapter 14. Sorry, here we go. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evil than those which thou hast sinned happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the time is fled far away, and least sin is hard to hand. For now hasteth the vision to come. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. Then answered I before thee, and said, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For thy law is burnt. For thy law is burnt. Therefore no man knoweth these things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world, since the beginning, which were written in thy law, that any man find my path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. And he answered me, saying, Go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them, that they seek thee not for 40 days. But look thou, prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Saraiah, Dabria, Salimia, Euchinus, and Aziel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out till these things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. And when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow, this hour, shalt thou begin to write. Then forth went I as he commanded, and gathered all the people together, and said, Hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. Then was the land, even in the land of Zion, parted among you by lots. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteous, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. And for as much as he is righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given to you. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding, and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall come the judgment, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me 40 days. So I took the 5 men, as he commanded me, and we went into the field, and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, open thy mouth, and drink that I give thee to drink. And I opened my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the colour was like fire. And I took it and drank, and when I drank of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory. My youth was opened and shut no more. Sorry, I can't read today. My mouth was opened and shut no more. a nugget. And I took it and drank. And when I drank of it, my heart had understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit shrank from my memory. My mouth was opened, and shut no more. The highest gave me understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. They sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the highest spake, saying, The first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as wise among you, the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. Yeah, I probably don't have enough time to read chapter 15 in this video, so I'll have to do another video to finish this book off. But I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll speak with you all soon. God bless.